This is All Things Caregiving from Breathing Spaces.
Hi, my name is Cindy Mariner. I'm the founder of Breathing Spaces. Welcome to a new episode of All Things Caregiving. I'm here today with my co-host and team member at Breathing Spaces, Cindy Gum. And we are absolutely delighted to have with us today as a special guest, Julie Fowlkes. Julie was a caregiver for her husband for many years. And the fun fact here is that Cindy and Julie have a history together. So Cindy, I'm going to let you do an extra introduction here for Julie.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Cindy. Yeah. Hi, Julie. And thank you again so much for joining us today on All Things Caregiving. Our husbands, we both cared for our husbands at the same time. And the fun fact is that we've known each other since fourth grade, Twin Peaks Grammar School in San Francisco, California. So it goes way back, and ironic that we ended up being caregivers for Sam and Stan at the same time. And Julie's husband, Sam, received wonderful care, and she's had quite a story and many, many experiences. So we invited her to come on the show and share some of them. So thank you, Julie, for joining us. And please share your story with us, whatever you think caregivers, might be helped by hearing from you.
Thank you, Cindy. And Cindy, I'm honored to be here. My experience taking care of Sam was actually quite positive. Part of it was probably because I could connect with my friend Cindy and we could share stories. But in all, I was really able to be with Sam in a way that was helpful to him and was positive for me. And I'll really start with that idea of being positive. It was critical that Sam feel loved and cared for, and that we kept a upbeat spirit during his time of decline. So we had posters in his room. I'm a teacher, so I had pens and I had poster paper and I had stickers and lots of family photographs that I put on one poster. We had done a lot of traveling, so I went actually back and got pictures from our trips and put those up. He loved the San Antonio Spurs, so we had some information about the Spurs. Also, I had another poster with all his family and friends on it, so he could look up and see those names. So the bedroom was well adorned with posters. Sam enjoyed getting up each morning and having breakfast at the Julie Café. And we had a menu with three specials. Special number one was omelet. Special number two was egg on toast. And three was yogurt with fruit. All three specials came with coffee, of course, and egg and avocado toast. And Sam loved walking into the dining room table and saying, "Well, what's new at the cafe today? Do we still have that same waitress? I hope she'll be serving me special number two today." So I think Sam and I laughed about that, every morning and enjoyed that. Acceptance. Things became so much better for me as a caregiver when I was able to truly understand and practice acceptance. And it came out of a situation that occurred when I was angry with Sam, probably because he hadn't gotten up to walk down the hall because I thought he should keep exercising, or he hadn't had his 3 glasses of water. But whatever the reason, I remember yelling at him and slamming the bedroom door. And as I stood in the kitchen crying, I realized this was a mistake, that my anger and my frustration was not helping Sam. That my role as a caregiver was to love him and love him unconditionally, lower my expectations, be with him in a way that was comfortable to him. He didn't want to drink 3 glasses of water. He didn't want to walk down the hall. And he didn't have to. So I can remember really quite vividly opening up the bedroom door, coming back in, sitting on the side of the bed and saying, "Sam, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. I certainly didn't mean to slam the door, and you don't have to walk down the hall. And let's see what's on television." So that was a real turning point. And from then on, it's like I took off kind of the caregiver hat and maybe put on the companion hat, or put on the loving hat, put on the hat of acceptance, which was really the best gift that I could give Sam during the final weeks of his life.
Mm.
Caregiver has a rough job. It's pretty intense. It's 24/7. So one thing I did learn, and I think perhaps Cindy gave me this advice, was to do both self-care and take some breaks. So I was able to continue getting my nails done, which is just not a necessary thing, but it was a good way to help me feel good. I remember getting my hair cut. I remember going shopping. I went down to the gym almost every day. We live in a community where there's a gym right downstairs, and so I was able to do that. I went actually a couple nights down to our dining room to have dinner with friends because Sam would be fine alone for an hour or so. Also, I took breaks. I was able to take opportunities when guests would come to visit with Sam, to leave the room and let Sam visit with Suzanne or visit with Chris or even visit with Cindy. And I would take a walk. And it would be, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but just to be out in fresh air. We live near a county park. So I was able to kind of walk out and be with the redwoods and look up at the sky and just be in a different environment with real kind of a sense of relaxation and a sense of nature. I think nature is pretty kind of redeeming and relaxing. So to be able to walk out and be it could be as easy as standing on your balcony or standing in a patio. I think leaving the room, I spent, hours and hours in our bedroom together. So to be able to step out and be in nature for just a short time.
Mhm.
So the combination of these things really, I think, worked quite well. Sam didn't ever seem to be depressed or angry or too frustrated. He was a lovely man, and he wasn't in a lot of pain. Fortunately, the hospice team helped with that. But he also, I think, was not entertained. I don't know if that's quite the right word. He was. We kind of kept a flow of things happening. So we had the posters that we would talk about. Then we would have the breakfast. Then we'd probably do something for lunch. Then I'd go outside for nature. And so I think each day there was a series of activities that I could look forward to, and that I think Sam looked forward to too. That he wasn't just sitting alone in his bed, and he wasn't just interacting with me. I really encouraged people to come over. I can remember when our granddaughter came. This was so wonderful. She came down from Portland. She loved Sammy. And so we had her laying on the hospital bed with Sammy. And, I went in the other room, of course. I was probably crying because it was such a touching moment. But Morgan was so happy just to lay there with her favorite grandfather. I think she was there for, 20 or 30 minutes, just laying next to Sammy. So that was a special time. Another time we had Sam's daughter here, and that was good. And she started telling, this was really special too. She started telling Sam stories about when she was growing up and what she remembered. And they were both laughing so hard because Christy, of course, remembered one version of the time she got spanked, and Sam remembered another version of that time. So recalling happy memories with a family member, I think seemed to be a very rewarding and kind of a really happy time for Sam. To be able to laugh when you're laying in your bed 24/7 with the hospice team coming in and all the people coming to change your depends and give your medications, etc. To have opportunities to laugh with your daughter. That was a really good experience.
Julie, I want to ask about the posters because you've mentioned those more than once, and I know they were a part of whether he was in skilled nursing, which he was in and out for a while as well, part of the presentation at end of life. But it also made me think about that, when people do come to visit, or you have hospice coming in and out. One of the nice things about having the poster was that it gave people something. First of all, they'd know a little bit more. It's a way of humanizing this person.
Yes.
It might
Yes.
be an end of life care, but even if they're not an end of life, when people, occupational therapists or just anybody comes, it gives them something to talk about.
Right.
And a common history there. So I think that can be very helpful. And also just pictures in a room of grandchildren or family members or their parents, their mother and father. So I think those are really helpful points.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful idea. I just absolutely love that because it gives the human story to the human that's right in front of you.
Yeah, humanizes the one that people may not know well. Yeah.
Lovely.
And posters are not hard to do. You just, you go to Michael's and you get the poster
For
board.
teachers, I've seen your posters. I know they're professional level.
No, they're not professional level, but don't, if you're making a poster, don't worry about having the right pens or having the right paper. Just take some tape, slap them on the poster board. The person who's being cared for will love it. They won't be noticing, and the visitors won't be noticing. I will tell you a kind of a funny story, because Cindy, you're absolutely right. When people came in, they did notice the posters. So one night, Sam had a very high temperature and had to be transported to El Camino. And so we had 4 paramedics in our room. 2 were with Sam and 2 were in the kitchen with me. And they right away started asking me about the San Antonio Spurs. Is that a baseball team? Is that a football team? Of course, if you've grown up in the Bay Area, you didn't know who the Spurs were. So it was right away we laughed and talked about that. And I told them how much Sam enjoyed that team and had followed them for years. So posters do make a difference.
Yes.
By the way, it's a basketball team, right?
It is. Oh yes. Oh yes, it's a really good basketball team
in Texas. Yeah, in San Antonio, Texas.
It is, and it was did very well for many years. And of course, Sam was a great.
He was a true fan.
Great fan, and loved the team, loved all the players, knew all their stories. So it was, it was like another family that he had. But no, posters, I think. And as Cindy said, he was in skilled nursing for a while, and I took them over there too. So.
Perfect.
Posters are easy to do, and I think you get a lot of mileage. You get mileage for the patient, and you get mileage for the visitors. So keep the positive spirit with posters and a fun breakfast. Really do acceptance. Understand this person needs your love more than anything else. More important than 3 glasses of water or walking down the hall.
How did you remind yourself of that, Julie, when you were caught in the trigger? Because we all know those triggers, and we have to catch ourselves in the moment. So let's say you didn't catch yourself right away. How did you keep that mindfulness that was your commitment?
I think once I crossed the bridge, or opened the door, or whatever analogy, whatever visual you want to use. Once I had that experience where I screamed and slammed the door, it stayed in my mind pretty well, Cindy. And of course, then I realized, you get sort of return on your investment, because Sam relaxed more. He knew I wasn't going to come in and say, let's walk down the hall. So actually, I could almost say, if you were filming it, there might have been a shift in our relationship. My body language was probably gentler, positive, more caring. Sam's time with me was probably the same way, that he felt more accepted and knew that he wasn't going to be nagged. And I was probably nagging. I mean, I thought I was helping. I thought I was, keeping him busy and up and moving and
You were supervisorial, as teachers are.
Well, but it wasn't the right plan for Sam.
Well, I think that allowing, I call acceptance, I kind of reframe it in my head as allowing someone to be as they are. And that helps me. But however you come to this state of, it's an internal emotional state. And however you come to it, it's usually through pain and suffering, I have found.
But I think it's also kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that once you, as I said, cross the bridge into acceptance and love, and being positive, and once you get to that awareness, then And that's just how you are. You just know it's really, or it was just clear to me that and here's the other part. It's much easier for me. I mean, here I was struggling to try and get Sam to do things. And so I was happy not to have to do that. And I'm sure Sam was even happier.
Oh, Julie, it sounds like you went from your head to your heart.
Right.
And that was your bridge. But
Mhm.
just between, because when you know something, you're one way here, thinking you were doing the right thing, is what I'm hearing. But,
Right.
but when you got it in your heart,
Yes.
then it sounds like you were able to release and allow him to be Sam. And it freed you up just to love him, which at the end of life, one would always hope to live on that love channel.
Right.
That's right. And we had changed, we were on the wrong station for a while, wrong channel for a while. We were on the Julie channel, which is, be in charge. And you can't be, that was not a good channel.
Well, and it's so wonderful that you took those opportunities. I can see you walking out into nature and taking that breath of air, how important that was. And when friends or family would come over, that you would take that opportunity to leave and re-energize yourself. Because I think as caregivers, we have a tendency to go on, I need to be here, I need to do. The world will fall apart if I'm not here. And that's where we all implode. And we've all done it. We have all done it. So I absolutely love hearing your story. It's lovely.
It's my honor to share it, Cindy. I hope I've, given you a few tips that might be useful to the caregivers that you work with, because we're all in a very challenging role.
It is a very challenging role.
Thank you, Julie.
Julie, thank you so much for being willing to share with our audience here. It was lovely to meet you.
My pleasure.
All right, Cindy, thank you as well. And please tune in for our next episode of All Things Caregiving. Thanks for being here, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This has been All Things Caregiving from Breathing Spaces.